Alright guys, since I finished technically You're Human and You at the moment, this is gonna be like an little intermission. I think I decided on doing an affliction of the heart from I don't know who. I don't know. It's about a changeling and then one of the authors OC, I think. Anyways, speaking about You're Human and You, I certainly fell in love with Twilight in that freaking story. Oh my god. Like first thing, if you guys were here from the very beginning, you should know why the whole channel's grayish. You should know why, because she was the mascot for a while, and technically that watermark that's like just the radiant version of her. Guess who that is? It looks like rainbow, but it's not rainbow. I will say that. Anyways, let's hop into You Would Never Share an Intimate Moment with Twilight Sparkle. So yeah, right now I am loving Twilight, so that's why I'm reading this. Anyways, let's hop right into it. Turning her telescope slightly to the left, the little unicorn looks through her eyepiece intensively. I'm still not seeing it, she says to you as you're sitting down behind her. Rising to your feet, you inch up to Twilight Sparkle's device and look through it. Look through. Seeing the array of stars you instructed her to find, you explain which ones she needs to follow to see the outline that you refer to. Alright, oh, I see it now. Those are the hind legs, and this must be the upper torso. You said it was called Centaurus? You nod your head in confirmation. Wow, interesting. Equestrian astronology never mentioned a constellation of a human equine hybrid before. For the entirety of the night, she's been looking through her telescope, observing some of her favorite constellations and taking note of the ones you've taught her about as well. It amuses you how much joy she takes from stargazing sometimes. While you're watching her, a huge yawn escapes her mouth, and you put a hand in front to futilely, futilely cover it up. Oh, come on, don't tell me you're tired. We've only been looking for about an hour. You apologize and explain that you're still worn out from traveling to and from Canterlot with her today. It was much busier than expected, and you received more than enough attention from the denizens. Being the only human any of them had ever seen. Alright, if you insist, Twilight says, slightly dismayed, while she folds her telescope up for the night. I guess it's time for bed then. Go ahead and lie down. I still want to write down a few notes about the constellations you showed me tonight. You make your way over to bed and pull back her purple blanket. Adorned with large stars and moon crescents, you're thankful for her talent with enlargement spells, and that she had used it specifically so the two of you could more comfortably share her bed. You place your hands behind your head and lay back, looking over at Twilight, scribbling away onto a piece of parchment with the quill she's magically levitating. Your eyes slip down her glowing horn to her dark purple and pink mane. Traveling down her sleek back, you find yourself staring into her rear. She looks back at you and notices... I lost my place. Notices what you're looking at and grins. I thought you said you were tired, mister, she asks, giggling, while you shrug in response. Be patient, I'll be there in a moment. While she continues to write, her lower body shivers a bit, and her tail raises just slightly, enough to reveal her tight anus and her pronounced labia. You stare into her backside and lick your lips. Almost done, she says to you in a sing-song voice, her lower lips winking in your direction. Now you're very aware that she's teasing you on purpose. There we go, all done, she says, rolling up the parchment and turning to face you. She trots happily towards the bed and pulls herself up, crawling over your chest and staring into your face with sultry eyes. It's like you've come to love, as it's a clear indication. Okay, fudge. Anyways, guys, okay, before I continue, I'm gonna keep my stories raw, because that's how I've been enjoying it, alright? Okay, now let's continue. It's a look you've come to love, as it's a clear indication of what she's wanting from you tonight. Your thoughts trail back to last week, on your third day in Ponyville. Twilight had been so eager to study you as a creature, and she had never encountered... A creature... Okay, fuck. Your thoughts trail back to last week on your third day in Ponyville. Twilight had been so eager to study you as a creature she had never encountered before and jumped at the chance to offer you shelter. Things had started off innocently enough until her poking and prodding had begun to stir you up and show physical signs of what her soft hooves touching you so much was doing to you. The two of you had been so embarrassed and to make comfortable and immediately physical sign. Blah. The two of you had been so embarrassed and immediately ceased from any further observations, but for the rest of the night she had found it very difficult to make comfortable eye contact with you, and even more difficult to keep her tail down enough to cover her privates. Eventually the tension became too much for her to bear, and she hastily sent Spike away with a book that she had just remembered that she promised she'd let Fluttershy borrow. With her assistant gone, she quickly pronounced She quickly pounced you and suggested that in order for the two of you to continue living together, that this was something you would have to get out of the way. She was also mentioned that she was curious about the mating habits of humans anyways, and that it might be better to learn by taking a more hooves-on approach. It had started out as something forced and awkward, but soon turned into a rhythmic joining of two very different bodies, building up to a simultaneous I can't say it. Simultaneous release of passion. She had enjoyed it so much that she suggested you try it again and to let her collect additional results. With her chest pressed up against yours, she looks down at you, deep into your eyes and smiles. She leans in and presses her soft, sweet lips up against yours. You press your lips as your mouths make contact with each other, and the two of you break the kiss with a soft, wet smack. You both immediately move in for another kiss, tilting your heads to the side to coddle one another's lips more intimately. Their mouths open a moment as your tongues slip past one another and enter the other's mouth, the cool air brushing against your exposed tongue. Before you both close your lips and the warmth of her mouth overtakes your tongue again. By this point, a very annoyed baby dragon assistant has made his way out of the room, thumping very loudly as he travels down the staircase. Pulling your lips apart once again, you rest your noses against one another and gaze into the other's eyes fondly. Twilight sticks her tongue out and licks your nose playfully. She turns herself over onto her back and wiggles herself against your chest. She tilts her head up to look at your face while you wrap your arms around her and rub her furry chest. She starts to giggle and squirms a bit more. You ask her what she's doing. "Oh, nothing, just getting nice and comfy," she replies, wriggling her backside against your lower torso. The feeling of her small rump pushing against you sends a pulse of excitement through your body. You take a deep breath as you unconsciously push your hips forward a bit. "Hey!" Twilight exclaims jovially. Whatever. "What's that poking me down there?" Grinning sheepishly, you begin to run your fingers down her side and tickle her. Twilight laughs delightfully and squirms against your chest as you touch her, sliding your hand up her belly and squeezing her. While she continues to laugh, you slowly inch your hand down her body and between her hind legs. Feeling around her fur, you come into contact with something warm and fleshy that makes the pony gasp when you touch it. Knowing you found your mark, you run a middle finger up the line of her slit ever gradually. She purrs, bringing her forelegs up to your chin. You lean your head down to take a better look at her face. She's looking up at you, her cheeks red as a rose, a joyful smile on her face. You kiss her cheek and hug her tightly with your left arm. Your right hand still between her hind legs, rubbing her soaking lips. She's continuously moaning with her mouth closed, her purple tail swishing now and then between your knees. The look of her blushing face and her tail wrapping between your knees drives you crazy and makes your penis swell with excitement. But you bite your lip and bear it, not wanting to let your desires impede your work. You slide your middle finger into her caverns and hear her cry out suddenly, and her back lifts a bit off your body. She quickly pushes her mouth into yours for a kiss, and you can hear her moaning softly into your mouth. All the while, you slowly slide your finger in and out of her while your left hand brushes near her chest gently. She breaks her kiss against you and tilts her head up, her eyes squeezed shut while she moans out uncontrollably. You ask if she wants to come, to which she quickly nods. You reposition your head over hers and take the tip of her ear into your mouth, giving it a gentle nibble. Keeping just the tip of your middle finger inside of her caverns, you pull back and apply pressure to her clitoris. You feel her body jolt as you pull back and forth against her flesh, and she begins to cry out fiercely. Her entire body shivering on top of you, she begins to spray all over your hand and your pants. You pull your finger out of her and rub her wet folds again, whispering into her ear what a good girl she is and how much you love her. You hear her whimper softly in response, a very humble look on her face, while her cheeks maintain a soft glow. She rubs the side of her cranium against your chest, still writhing a bit on top of you. Taking a deep breath, she rolls over and locks her lips with yours once again. As the two of you let your tongues mingle, her lower hoof rubs against the apparent bulge in your jeans. You let out a low hum from her touch, and she pulls her head back, grinning at you. Poor boy, she taunts, tracing a hoof along your chest. "You've been treating me so nicely, and I've left you all cooped up down there. Don't worry, I've still got enough energy for another round." Sliding herself down, she picks your zipper up in her teeth and pulls down, lightly pulling over the head of your bulge. Keeping a hoof on the waist, she bites and pulls the button of your pants off. You raise your hips up so that she can slide them and your underwear down, giving your rod the freedom it craves. Twilight quickly pulls pulls herself up to you, while with her soaking purple lips right over you. She lowers herself down just enough to let her flesh rest on the top of your head. You clench your teeth together when it makes contact, and she licks her lips while she drags her slit across your rod. Your eyes are pleading for her to stop teasing you and to go down completely. And so she does. Pushing her hips down, Twilight takes in your entire length, her mouth hanging open from the sensation of filling her up all the way to the base. Poking against her cervix, you tilt your head back and moan out yourself. It feels amazing how warm she is, fitting so snug around your member, and she's nice enough to do all the work for you, pulling herself up and sliding all the way up just before rising off to the pink of your head. Before slowly bobbing back down again, keeping her hooves on your chest for balance, you keep your hands around her hips, giving them a nice squeeze every so often. You look back up at her, seeing a very lustful grin on her face. You look like you're enjoying yourself, the unicorn says in delight. Do you think I'm sexy? You nod enthusiastically. You like feeling my snug pussy around your hard cock, don't you? You nod again and think to yourself how grateful you are there. In her learning to talk dirty, she refrained from using the proper medical terms of anatomy. She leans her head in a bit, her nose a mere inches from yours. And I know you love how wet I am, but that's how easy from how much you turn me on. Sometimes when I'm in public, I can barely keep myself dry around you. She's gotten really good at this lately. Hearing her salacious whispers, too much for you to handle, biting her lower lip, she raises herself up and increases the rate at which she'd grinding you. The force of her motions giving off a wet smack with each hump, your hips began to buck up into her out of instinct. Oh, you're going to come on, aren't you? Twilight says with an excitement in her eye. Yeah, come on, honey, let it out. Let it out. Fill me up with everything you have. I wanted to drip out the sides from being so full. You reach up and hold her body close to you and grunt as you thrust in rhythm. She moans out with a smile on her face in response to your increased force. Feeling her slick walls move around your shaft so quickly brings your building pressure to a summit. As you pump her hips and unleash a wave of warm milky seed into her, Twilight's tail flicks between your knees as you pull her up and she tilts her head back. Ooh, yeah, so messy. Slipping a hoof between her legs, she rubs her clitoris for an instant, her hoof covered in her own wetness and your sticky fluids. You feel another spurt released onto your shaft before she pulls herself off of you and drags herself across your stomach, getting you even messier in the process. You hold her face in your hands and pepper her cheek with tender kisses, and she moves to kiss your ear. The both of you are fighting over who gets to embrace you, until you finally meet in the middle and caress each other's lips once again. Twilight breaks the kiss and snuggles her head into your chest with a very satisfied smile, while you hug her close to you and stroke her soft purple mane. I love you, she says tiredly. You whisper the same to her. You can feel her heart beating against your chest as the two of you drift off into a very cozy slumber. The end. Alright, that was, I guess, better than expected, to be honest. I thought I would have more pauses and more fuck-ups. Anyways, guys, man, at this moment in time, I just love this mirror. Anyways, guys, thank you all for watching, doing like you guys do, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. 100,000 stories.